In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Alrighty, here we go. My microphone is attached. Discord audio is being picked up. We are live. Hello, YouTube. Me and Oathkeeper the Brony or Josh. I'm sorry, buddy, if you don't like me mentioning your name on YouTube like this. But
Nah, I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
well, I mean, I'm Travis, Night Ninja. I don't mind, I guess, whatever name people want to use either, I guess. So, we are here today with Secular Media Breakdown. This is the third episode of the TRON franchise being covered. As I have not only recently got my friend here, Josh, into the likes of TRON, but we recently, together, for the first time, both watched the new Tron Ares, which is pretty much the third movie in the series, at least the main movies. And admittedly, I'm a bit conflicted. It isn't like I hated it. It isn't like I completely disliked it. It's more so, I guess, I feel like it could have been more. But we are here to not only review this movie, but break it down in a biblical manner for how much, in the first place, the Tron franchise has been inspired by Christianity and the Holy Bible. For if you not only paid attention to the behind the scenes of the original 1980s two film, you would have known that they took heavy inspiration from the Bible and Christianity. But if you're familiar with the original movie and even Legacy, you can see how much it is biblically influenced.
Um, yeah,
Now, that being said, while uh, wasn't exactly perfect with the more biblical things about it. At the same time, it's probably one of my favorite movies that Disney did. Period.
yeah,
And in general, that's just the Tron franchise. I was, however, a bit cautious when it came to Ares being announced in a recent time when Disney has been so woke-tarded. It's hard to be trusting of modern day Disney. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I mean, not only with Marvel, but Star Wars, Indiana Jones, so many iconic franchises that they either owned to begin with or outright bought out for control and greed hasn't really worked out for them. I mean, barely with Marvel, I feel like there is some investment due to the likes of how the more recent Disney led Spider-Man MCU movies have been a bit more engaging, but that's mostly due to the fact that it included characters from the older Spider-Man movies that I actually cared about.
yeah,
It's just usually though with the woke-tarded stuff, it's hard to trust it, and there's hints of where I feel like this movie was actually almost designed to be a woke-tarded film. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because something that was interesting was after I saw the movie, I had kind of mixed feelings, even though I will at least say the movie wasn't bad to where I wouldn't say don't go out of your way to watch it, to avoid it. Like if you actually genuinely have an interest in this, especially as a Tron fan, I wouldn't say don't see it. I'd say sure, go and see it. It isn't like it was a bad experience, but when you are someone who gets familiar with especially what was almost Tron 3, it was disappointing as far as that's concerned. Because let's be real here, Legacy had a pretty interesting story being set up in the sequel and what was clearly planned as Tron 3 originally.
Yeah.
Like, clearly there was a story that was going to be followed up on with Sam, Flynn, and Cora. But the likes of this movie, for some reason, the minute it starts, goes out of its way to basically suddenly go, "Oh yeah, Sam Flynn, he retired, or he just he resigned out of fucking nowhere." We don't get to know about what happened to Cora. We don't get to know why he chose that. There's literally nothing about Sam Flynn. Only, admittedly, a slight bit more interest in Kevin Flynn and a cameo of him near the end. But that's really it as far as characters from the past movies. Otherwise is a whole new cast. Now, that being said, I will say from what I did like, the music is great. Nine Inch Nails did the soundtrack, and I thought that was a pretty good choice after I guess you couldn't get Daft Punk to come back. Because I honestly would have preferred Daft Punk coming back, but for Nine Inch Nails being the next one up for doing a Tron soundtrack, that was not a bad decision. That being
Yeah.
said, I feel like probably the best part about this movie was the visual design. Even though it was kind of dumb that he, for some reason, goes from a traditional data disk to a data triangle, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because the minute I see that, I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna throw that around like a frisbee? The hell?
Mhm. It's
Like,
video game logic. It can ignore the laws of physics.
boy, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck data disks. Data triangles are where it's at, bitch. uh,
Yeah.
that being said, though, um, the minute the movie starts and we're mostly focusing on Dillinger, or at least some of his ancestors or whatever, his descendants. Um, First off, we don't get the same descendant from Legacy either coming back. These guys have started their own company now completely, and is clearly uh, a rival to Dillinger, or to Encom specifically, this Dillinger company. And now Encom is ran by a Asian woman, Kim, I think was her name. And you get this backstory about
Uh,
how her sister died an untimely death in the hospital or something.
yeah. Eve or Evelyn or Eve was the
Okay.
name of the main
Okay.
character, and Kim was her sister.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I at least was close enough. I mean, while the
Yeah.
character wasn't particularly bad per se, uh, I wasn't as invested in her as Sam Flynn. So bottom line, I just simply didn't really remember the name, being honest.
Yeah. It's all right.
And nothing against the actress. She did a fine job in the role. Um, just simply, it really is the fact that they abandoned what actually was a proper Legacy sequel that almost happened with Sam Flynn, with Cora. It sounded like even the actor for Tron himself, Bruce Boxleitner, was gonna even come back. You had a proper sequel in works apparently, but then Legacy didn't do as good as Disney demanded it did, so it got canned. And by the time they finally did do a sequel, they can everything except the Ares character, who was originally a villain. And that's something that I was, I guess, surprised about, because the Ares character played by I'm trying to remember the actor's name. He's super well known. Jared Leto. Um,
Mm.
he didn't do a bad job in his role. I mean, I'll definitely give him that. He did a fine job, everything considered. But his character, especially how he's introduced as even having the MCP name attached to his programming, it immediately made me think, oh, this can't end well.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. I'm just like, seriously, he's Dillinger's grandson and he's going out of his way to attach the MCP name to a new freaking program, a program that he's even choosing to try and bring into the real world to sell as a military uh 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 kind of system, how you're able to just practically 3D print people and vehicles into the real world. Like I'll at least give the plot
Yeah.
that part was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
That being said, uh, I really wasn't expecting Jared Leto's Ares character to end up being a villain turned hero about what, halfway through the movie it felt like.
Yeah.
It definitely caught me off guard, because the minute that he was especially attaching the MCP name to him, I'm just like, there's no way this can end good.
Yeah. Just
Like,
that's one.
because let's be real, if he's also his grandson, he would have known how Dillinger did not have a good time after, thanks to the MCP holding freaking the information of him stealing a man's work hostage to basically make him his fucking bitch for the remainder of the movie.
True.
Like
And then,
for his grandson to know the MCP name to begin with, it was off the bat all too much a case of this is this can't end well.
true. Freaking that's like I said, that in the context of Aries, especially, that is the epitome of the phrase "what can possibly go wrong."
No shit. Hold on one sec. The dog is barking. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, I'm back with my bud here. So basically, there seems to have been what could have admittedly been a woke-tarded movie with the fact that they switched a lot of the characters around for this sequel. However, surprisingly enough, aside from the fact that the main character is actually a woman suddenly instead of a man for Tron, there isn't really anything that I could say was woke-tarded about this film. I
Yeah.
mean, the freaking main villain near the end was a black woman, so if anything, I mean, I guess they at least weren't freaking trying to preach about racism and all that other crap, and instead had the balls to do that this day and age.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, it feels definitely like this kind of movie is closer to like end times kind of stuff biblically, with the AI being clearly more of a potential antichrist kind of character, you know?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this did do good enough for them that if they did do a fourth Tron movie, that would kind of be the case, is AI just flat out taking over the world full on.
Yeah.
But that's just, I guess, mainly because of the fact that let's be real here, AI in just about any story cannot be trusted, and that has been proven time and time again in just Tron alone.
Yeah.
That being said, there's still barely a kind of religious vibe from programmer the programs versus the creator kind of thing, and how so many of the programs initially have a very religious respect to their creators,
Yeah.
which ever since the original Tron was a very a very much biblically inspired aspect about this franchise. However, you don't really get much of that so much with the whole uh, dynamic with the programmers or the users versus the programs. Like that isn't really much of a focus in Tron Ares. You know what I mean?
Um, yeah.
Because Ares doesn't go out of his way to save the main character because that's the user. I need to protect the user and serve the user. It's more so he wants to be a real boy kind of thing, which
Yeah.
honestly just isn't nearly as engaging to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like the closest it got to that kind of biblical investment that Tron Ares used to have, or I mean, just Tron in general, is when Kevin Flynn shows up near the end and we get a cameo of the original grid, complete with bits and
Yeah.
also the freaking hole being blown in the wall for the for the light cycle game grid.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Which was definitely cool. It was probably the best part of the movie easily, was the cameo of the OG grid being a focus for even a tiny bit, because it shows how much even the original 1982 design could look amazing still today, in especially today's CGI work that was done for it.
Yeah.
That being said, I just can't deny that in the end, the only thing that really holds me back from finding this a more engaging Tron entry is the focus on the original characters. I mean, really, when all we get is Kevin Flynn coming back as a program, clearly to some degree, it's only so dumb because, I mean, we know that Kevin Flynn died at the end of Legacy, so that wasn't actually him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anything, we could probably call that program Clue. And he somehow wasn't corrupt as much as he was in Legacy. So, I
Yeah.
guess Clue might not be totally bad in the end. I mean, because I guess to be
Yeah.
fair, that was the introduction in the original Tron as well, was Clue being sent in to try and find the information about Kevin Flynn being the original creator of Space Paranoids.
Yeah.
Because even with also the deleted scenes, there really isn't much here, admittedly. I don't feel like there is as much depth to this, as much investment to this, as much as the previous Tron entries. To where,
Yeah.
no, again, it wasn't bad, but I didn't exactly just feel nearly the investment I did before with Tron. And in the end, the coolest things about it was seeing the OG grid and the moment where it looked like Sark was going to come back out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting after credits scene.
But that was about it, though. And due to that, I can't really say that this is even on the same level of Legacy or even Uprising as someone who did watch it all. And even the likes of the original Tron, and even for as much as I did play of the game Tron 2.0, I genuinely just don't have nearly the same investment in this as I did all the other Tron entries. Even for what I did play of Tron Evolution so far on PS3 was more engaging with its story. And when this is so far just the most entry in Tron, when at least something like Tron 2.0, which may not be canon to any of the other entries so far, was still engaging for a FPS that was made by the creators of Deus Ex.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, there's, I guess, if anything, it was kind of like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. That's a fair rating.
And again, too, with how much they did clearly use biblical or not so biblical names, but names of Greek or Roman mythology.
Greek
Yeah.
Greek mythology. Yeah.
Sorry, because thanks to Greek and Roman
That's
mythology
okay.
practically being the same and just with different names, it's confusing.
I understand. It's all right. Yeah.
Because there's Ares who then turns good out of nowhere, and then there
Yeah.
is the side villain who turns main villain in the end with Athena, who
Athena. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really wasn't expecting to be the way
yeah,
she ended up being the main villain out of nowhere.
yeah. Which is kind of ironic because Ares is supposed to be the god of war, and
You'd really
uh,
expect because of that Ares was going to be the main villain, like he clearly was originally planned, since that is
yeah,
publicly known at this point that he was planned for that role.
yeah, and then of course, yeah, and of course, then according to ancient Greek mythology, Athena was supposed to be the goddess of wisdom, strategic warfare, and handicrafts. So yeah, but yeah,
Sorry, I had to mute my mic for a moment there. But
yeah,
yeah, and also not to mention, from what little knowledge I do have in Greek slash Roman mythology, Ares
yeah,
seemed to be more like a antagonist in such mythology more than Athena was an antagonist. If anything, Athena seemed to
that is
usually in the
true because
stories that I've seen be more like a ally to the people in such
yeah,
stories.
Athena. Yeah, yeah, that is kind of ironic because you're right. And like for example, the Odyssey, Athena was helping out Odysseus and the main character of the Odyssey. Um, and yeah, um, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ares is pretty much a villain in Greek mythology.
Not to mention, while I never actually completed any of them, I only mainly played a little bit of both the PSP entry and also the original PS2 entry. But from what little I played of God of War, when Ares is the main villain of the original, also made me even more all kinds of wow. He's going to be named Ares, and he ends up being a hero in this story. Huh.
Yeah, that's that's kind of ironic.
It feels more than ironic. It feels it feels specifically reminiscent of how the original script was when he was all originally going to be the villain of what was planned as Tron 3.
Yeah,
Because that alone says everything, I feel like, in how he's at first a villain and then he suddenly becomes a good guy. Because it feels like it's the
yeah,
only thing they cared to, I guess, keep from the original plot, since it went from we really were going to have Sam and Cora back in the sequel to they're just gone.
yeah,
And honestly, I can't really say that I trust what they said about specifically the reason why none of the original characters returned was more creative freedom. If we're talking actual creative freedom, why did you still steal the name of a character from the originally planned third script? Because if
true.
anything, sounds like you didn't have any fucking originality and you just kind of decided to just, cheat from what work was done and also go, fuck these characters. Because I feel like there was going to potentially have been a bit more of a woke tarded movie here, but because of how much it really has ruined how popular Disney used to be,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they went out of their way to have originally had a woke-tarded plot for Tron Ares that then
Yeah.
got all the woke-tarded stuff written out because they realize, oh, we actually shouldn't be risking this. Oh, fuck. Because supposedly they're also now gonna try and redo the sequels by retconning the sequel trilogy that really wasn't good, honestly.
Hmm.
But honestly, I'd rather see if somehow he could buy it back, if like George Lucas could just go, "Hey, would you guys just give me back my company? It sounds like you guys bullshit me into selling it in the first place to you."
Yeah.
Because it really did sound like he was manipulated there. Um,
Yeah.
it's part of where I really am, at least. Like, I guess if anything, I was impressed that it wasn't woke-tarded, aside from the weird protagonist change.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the I mean, the evil CEO was a white guy, but that wasn't really mentioned.
Right? Let alone
Like,
were they
or that
trying to
wasn't
do
really
a
focused
whole
on.
"you're sexist" bullshit, or "you're transphobic," or "you're homophobic," or just dumb stuff like that, or even trying to go, "white privilege, asshole." Like, you got none
Yeah.
of that here, thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Because if that actually was included in this movie, I feel like this would have really been infamous, actually, and instead of even just slightly good in our eyes here.
Yeah.
Because I will at least say this, I guess if this was more like a middle chapter and we are going to get something closer to what we had planned for Tron 3 in a Tron 4, I guess I'll be interested enough, especially with the idea of Sark somehow coming back too, it seemed.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Because if you do that, and I guess include Ares, because I'll give Jared Leto this, like he did a good job with the material he was given for this movie.
Yeah.
He definitely did, even though I guess, granted, I've only seen him in a handful of things, and I wasn't the biggest fan of him. Like, I just mainly remembered how he was the Joker in such a weird way for Suicide Squad, the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely probably one of the more infamous things he did.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Suicide Squad in theaters. It was okay.
Well, thank you guys for watching, and God bless.